Greetings, chess players. My name is Chris Torres, and this is my daily chess musing for Tuesday, April 20th, 2021. The FIDE Candidate Chess Tournament resumed on April 19th after a 389-day-long break. The winner of the tournament plays Magnus Carlsen for the world's chess crown at the end of the year. When play resumed, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave and Nepomniachtchi were in the lead with 4.5 out of 7. Let's take a look at key positions from the decisive games of rounds 8 and 9, and then how these results affected the leaderboard. The key decisive game from round 8 of the 2020-2021 FIDE Candidates Tournament occurred between Fabiano Caruana and Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. Let's take a look. e4, c5, knight f3, d6, d4, cx, d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, a6. The Najdorf variation of the Sicilian defense is a specialty of MVL. Bishop g5, e6, f4, 7 queen b6. Maxime is going for the poison pawn variation despite the trouble it caused him at the Tatisteel tournament. 8 queen d2, queen takes b2. The old adage states, never take the queen's knight pawn with your queen. Taking this poison pawn can lead to a lot of trouble unless you have a lot of specialist knowledge of the ensuing positions like MVL does. Even then, as we've seen recently, it's a dangerous move. Rook b1, queen a3, 10 e5, h6, bishop h4, dx e5, fx e5, knight f to d7, 13, knight to e4. White has a lot of piece activity, but has given up material. Black has a material advantage, but must tread very carefully. 13, queen takes a2. That's the usual move. But what if black grabs the hanging pawn on e5? Let's take a look real fast. If 13, knight takes e5, then white has 14, b5. Kapow! After the knight goes to b5, the white knight is threatening black's queen, while the white queen threatens checkmate. Back to our game, where black wisely played 13, queen takes a2. 14, rook d1, queen d5, queen e3, queen takes e5, 16, c3. Interesting that Caruana chooses a move from high-level correspondence play rather than the usual bishop to e2. 16, bishop c5, bishop g3, queen d5, 18, bishop c4. A shocking novelty and a bit of a gamble as strong engines now favor black. However, it's worth noting that after playing the computer suggestion of 18, bishop d6, bishop takes d6, knight b5, queen takes d1 check, king takes d1, ax b5, knight takes d6 check, king e7. And now, despite the imbalances, the engines view this position as dead even. So Caruana with 18, bishop c4 is taking a gamble and playing for a win. Queen takes c4, of course. Bishop d6. White is significantly down in material, but with a very dangerous attack. Black's 19th move is knight f6. In the post-game interview, Caruana revealed that this was, in fact, part of his opening preparation and was conceived by Fabiano's second, Rustam Kazimzanov. In that interview, Caruana said, and I quote, "Most of these ideas, it's a one-time thing. Then you can't play it again. Like this one. Firstly, black has many ways to play it. Actually, Maxime played the best way. I was kind of upset that he played this because I thought 19 knight f6 is a very difficult move to find." Back to our game. Play continues with 20, knight takes c5, knight d5, queen e5, and then black played 21, rook g8. Caruana may have a dangerous attack, but MVL is definitely up to the challenge. His impenetrable defensive skills leads Caruana to trading queens. 22, knight d takes e6, fx e6, 23, knight takes e6, queen takes c3, and here comes that trade of queens. 24, queen takes c3, knight takes c3, knight c7 check, king f7, 26, rook d3, and knight to e4. Fabiano appeared to still be in his opening preparation, and MVL made his first inaccuracy. Better for black was rook to a7. Let's take a look. So after 26 rook d3, if black plays rook to a7, white castles check, king g6, rook takes c3, king h7, knight d5, and then bishop e6, which, at such a high level of play, should lead to a draw. But again, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave made his first inaccuracy with 26, knight e4. 27, castle check. Caruana capitalizes on that mistake and claims a small edge, an edge that he eventually converts to a win with ultra-precise play. Fabiano's gamble in the opening paid off in a jackpot. In a future video, we will look more closely at the incredible endgame play by Caruana in round 8 of the 2020-2021 FIDE Candidates Tournament. But now, let's take a quick look at Alekseenko's first win in the tournament from round 8. He was playing Grischuk, who is black. And we join this game on move 35. Black plays bishop b3. And 36, Kirill Alekseenko plays rook takes g7 check. Of course black plays 36, king takes rook. But white's dark squared bishop is a star piece in this situation as it defends both the pawn on e5 and a3. Now let's fast forward to move 56. Alekseenko plays 56 e7 and Alexander Grischuk plays rook c to e8. At this moment, the players were playing fast in order to get more bonus time. 57, bishop d6. This is a very good move because the bishop threatens to go to c7 and then d8, where it could glue itself to the pawn. 57, rook a8. 58, bishop c7. And then Alexander Grischuk plays rook a to g8, which is a blunder. He obviously didn't want his rook split up, but now he is locked out and leaves two pawns hanging. Better was 58, rook h7, and then white could play 59, bishop d8, which should lead to a draw. But again, Grischuk played 57, rook a to g8, to which Kirill Alekseenko responded with 59, rook e4, splitting the uprights. King goes to f5, rook f4 check, king g5, rook takes a4, king h4, rook e4, rook a8, a4, king g5, a5, rook h7, king c6, rook h8, king d7, rook h7, king c6, rook h8 again, rook e3, rook h e8, and under pressure, Grischuk plays another inaccuracy, which further deteriorates his position. Better would have been 68, king f5, king d7, rook h7, 70, rook e5 check, and then king f6. But Grischuk played 68, rook h to e8, and then we have 69, king d7. Alekseenko punished the crime and quickly proceeds to collect a full point in round 8. Play continued. 69, king f6, 70, rook e6 check, king f7, rook e4, king f6, 72, bishop d8, king f5, 73, king takes e8, king takes e4, and finally 74, king f8, and Alexander Grischuk has had enough and resigns, as it is very clear that white is going to win. For instance, even let's say rook c8, well then white can just play e8, promoting to a queen, and that is a check. And from this position, white would go on to win easily. Now let's take a look at the only decisive game from round 9, and it's a real gem between Anish Giri and Wang Hao. Giri starts with d4, knight f6, 2c4, e6, knight f3, d5, g3, bishop e7. So it's a Catalan opening, bishop g2, castle, dx c4, queen c2, a6, a4, bishop d7, queen takes c4, bishop c6, 10, bishop f4, and bishop d6. Our first key moment. Wang Hao threatens to exchange dark bishops and expose white's king. 11, knight c3. Giri ignores black's bishop on d6 and instead plays knight c3, giving his opponent permission to play bishop takes f4. 11, bishop takes f4, so Hao obliges. 12, gx f4. Usually you don't want your pawns to be split up in such a manner, but not in this case. Since white's plan involves kingside action, Giri is fine with opening up his g-file. 12, a5, 13, e3, knight a6, 14, knight e5, bishop takes g2, king takes g2, c6, and 16, h3. This is a very subtle move. Giri is planning on moving his king to h2, which is safer than h1 since white won't have to worry about black's queen checks on the a8 to h1 diagonal. In addition, now Giri's rook can move to g1 to stare down black's king. 16, queen b6, 17, queen e2, c5, 18, rook f to d1, cx d4, rook takes d4, rook a to d8, rook takes d8, queen takes d8, 21, rook d1, queen a8, 22, king g1, knight b4, 23, queen b5, knight b to d5, 24, knight takes d5, knight takes d5, 25, rook c1, h6, 26, queen d7, f6, 27, queen d6. And Hao Wang plays 27 g6. Black was a bit short on time and subsequently makes a mistake here by weakening his kingside. After the game, Hao said of his choice, "Very bad, but I couldn't find a move." Queen e8 appears to be the move he couldn't find. Not perfect, but also not, quote, very bad. 28, b3. Giri doesn't attack straight away since he is a careful player. Instead, he wisely plays b3, carefully protecting everything first. 28, h5. A good prophylactic move as he is preventing a future knight g4 from white. 29, king h2. Giri moves his king to h2 as predicted earlier. 29, king g7, 30, queen to d4. Giri creates a mean discovered check on the diagonal if black's knight is moved. 30, rook d8, 31, queen b2, queen to b8, 32, b4. Anish Giri pushes his b-pawn to create a second weakness for black to deal with. Watch and you'll see how. 32, ax b4, 33, rook c4. Preparing to win black's pawn while creating a battery in the b-file. 33, b3, 34, rook b4. Giri is okay capturing the pawn on b3 as well. Although I think rook c3 is more accurate, as it then can move to d3 should black form a battery of his own with queen d6. For instance, rook c3, queen goes to d6, forming that battery, and now white has the nice rook to d3 because the knight is defending the rook. A small detail, but an important improvement to understand nonetheless. Back to our game. Anish Giri played 34, rook b4, and then 34, queen a7. 35, rook takes b3. And if it wasn't clear before, it is now. White is winning. Queen takes a4, rook takes b7, queen e8, rook a7, rook d5, queen b7, knight e4, and knight takes f7. Hao's king has no good squares to run to, so he resigns, and Anish Giri scores the only victory from round 9. With 9 rounds completed, the current standings are: first place, Ian Nepomniachtchi with 5.5 out of 9. Second through fourth place, Fabiano Caruana, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, and Anish Giri are all tied with 5 out of 9. 5th through 7th place, Kirill Alekseenko, Alexander Grischuk, and Wang Hao are tied with 4 out of 9. 8th place, Ding Liren with 3.5 out of 9. Tomorrow, the fight continues in the cold Russian city of Yekaterinburg with round 10. Of course, I recommend visiting FIDE's official tournament site for more information and live broadcast links of the 2020-2021 FIDE candidates. However, if your schedule doesn't allow you to stay up all night watching the event live, I humbly advocate coming to this YouTube channel to see recaps of the day's excitement in my daily chess musings. Also, be sure to check out the Daily Chess Musings Facebook page. Follow me on Twitter at Tori's Chess. Join our Daily Chess Musings Club on chess.com and peruse through all of our free chess lessons at dailychessmusings.com. If you liked today's recap, please remember to hit the like and subscribe button. And with that, I bid you adieu until tomorrow.